I'm Andrew, I'm a speaker and author, and I love musicals, walks, and just hang out with my mates. Great. I suddenly said musicals and thought, what else do I like? I had this panic of, what do I do in my life? In some ways, my story is a bit different from Ashley's, but it's still a story of Jesus being better. I first became aware of my sexuality in my early teen years, and to be honest, when that happened, it was quite a surprise to me and raised lots of big questions. I'd always imagined I would grow up, marry a woman, have a few children, but actually as these romantic and sexual desires were emerging, they were consistently for other guys rather than for girls. That raised lots of questions, particularly because by that point in my life, I was already a follower of Jesus. At quite a young age, around 5, I'd made the choice I wanted to follow Jesus. He loved me, I wanted to love him and to be obedient to him. And so suddenly as a teenager, I'm wrestling with my sexuality and thinking, what does that mean if I want to follow Jesus? I'd never heard of anyone who was same-sex attracted or gay and was a Christian, was a follower of Jesus. I didn't even know if it was possible. So for a few years, I kept quiet, didn't tell anyone, but by my mid-teens, I began to tell a few people, and I had to really wrestle with, what does God say? Really asking, what does the Bible say about sex and marriage and relationships, and reading, studying, thinking, and I found that what I've been taught, and what globally Christians believe, what through history Christians have always believed, is what the Bible says. That actually God reserves sex and marriage for lifelong unions of a man and a woman. And so at that point, I kind of thought, well, that's what Jesus says. I want to be obedient to him. Don't think that's going to work for me, so I'll stay single. I'll be fine. And for a few years, it was fine. But I got to my early 20s and realised, actually, this singleness thing was a bit harder than I thought it might be. Lots of my friends were getting married, even starting to have kids. And I was there on my own. And to be honest, I was beginning to feel really lonely. And I was beginning to think, following Jesus is just going to mean loneliness. I was really struggling with it. And to be honest, wondering, can I actually follow Jesus? I know what he says, I want to be obedient, but I don't think I can do this. But wonderfully, God helped me begin to experience that actually being single didn't have to mean being lonely and isolated. I thought my life was either going to be having to turn away from Jesus or be stuck in misery forever. And suddenly to really be known by people who really wanted to spend time with me, people who wanted me in their life, people who made sacrifices of their time and their energy for me, made such a difference. And I actually experienced something of God's love through their love for me. And being single for me doesn't mean loneliness or isolation. Actually, for me, it's meant a life full of deep relationships with others and ultimately with wonderful Jesus.